Yeah, please check whether audio and video are clear because last week we faced little bit of problem, but we have rectified that. Yes, Bhagwati, good morning. Clear. Okay. Yes. So once again, welcome to our Saturday session of current affairs. So actually today's topic we cannot call it as current affairs, but it is in continuation to our last class. That is, uh, the Election Commission of India has increased the expenditure limit for the MPs and MLAs. Okay, means MPs of Lok Sabha and MLAs. And even I told you the Rajya Sabha members, though they are indirectly elected, that is from the MLAs, but still they are also spending the money. You can see now big industrialist wives or big industrialist kith and kin are getting elected to Rajya Sabha in that manner. So of course, Election Commission of India cannot take action on all that things because it is not visible or it is not traceable. Okay, okay. Now, actually, Indian Constitution has prescribed qualifications and disqualifications for the MPs, MLAs. Okay. Now, even Constitution has authorized the Parliament to take necessary steps such that our democratic system will function in a fair manner. But today, what is happening? So instead of goodwill, money and muscle power is dominating the democracy, and even the polarization of votes in the name of caste, in the name of religion. Okay, it is occurring, and very rarely, Aam Aadmi will win the election. Of course, it does not mean that Aam Aadmi party. Aam Aadmi means a common man. Okay, yeah. So this the features of the Representation of People's Act are important to understand the expenditure limit. Okay. Now, salient features of the Representation of People's Act 1951. Just now I told you, Constitution had made some provision with regard to qualifications and disqualification, and Constitution has authorized Parliament to make more qualifications and disqualification to suit the contemporary period. Okay, a law which was good 50 years ago may not be good today. Understand? When I was pursuing my BTech, we were not having the facility of internet because we are lucky people, because we never got deviated from our books. Now you will always get deviated from your books. Okay? Yes. Okay. Now, salient features of the Representation of People's Act 1951. Conduct of elections of the House of Parliament and to the House or Houses of the legislature of each state. See, here you have to remember, of course, Indian Parliament is bicameral. The meaning of bicameral is having two houses, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. But all state legislatures in India are bicameral. Only few states are having the two houses, like Telangana, AP, etc. Even the election to the members of MLCs is also conducted by the Election Commission of India. That you have to remember. MLCs from graduates constituency, MLCs from teachers constituency, MLCs from MLA constituency, MLCs from local self-governing body constituency. All these candidates are elected, and that election is conducted by the Election Commission of India, not State Election Commission. Details about the structure of administrative machinery for the conduct of elections. Who will be the presiding officer? Which persons have to be taken for the election work? You can see whenever there are elections, the school teachers will participate, the bank officials will participate, the employees of public sector units will participate. Rarely private school teachers will participate. It is rare phenomena. Generally, only government teachers, government officials are assigned the election duty, and all arrangements are made for their accommodation, etc. But time and again, you can see in the papers that they will face lot of hardship. because of lack of responsibility and lack of accountability. In India, there are many organizations, left hand don't know what right hand is doing. So these people, when they go to the, villages, suffer a lot for the food, etc. Okay, okay. And who will be the presiding officer, returning officer? All are mentioned in this. Qualifications and disqualifications for membership of those houses. Yes, already Constitution has made that qualifications and disqualifications. Along with that, People's Representation Act 1950 and 51 also made several provisions. Now, corrupt practices and other offences at or in connection with such elections. What is meant by a corrupt practice? Corrupt practice means distributing the money. Of course, it is corrupt, but it is common nowadays. Nobody will vote you if you will not give the money. Whenever you go to a house to ask them, ask for votes, first they will ask what you will give to me, not for my society, not for my community. First, what you will give to me. Okay, it is a corrupt practice. Asking votes in the name of religion is a corrupt practice. Okay, rigging, everything is a corrupt practice. Corrupt practice and other offences at or in connection with such election. The decision of doubts and disputes arising out of or in connection with such elections. By election to the vacant seats. Yes, it is also it has also made provision for the by election. What is the difference between the by election and the general election? General election means election to all seats. Now take the example of Uttar Pradesh. For all MLA seats, they had the elections. Now, maybe in 23 or 24, I think in 23, you will have the, elections to Lok Sabha. It is a general election. What is by-election? If any person resigns from his post or dies suddenly, if the seat falls vacant because of disqualification, because of disqualification, then within 6 months, election should be conducted. When the remaining period of that house is more than 1 year. If the remaining period of that house is less than 1 year, there is no need to conduct the election because it is wastage of public money. Okay, that point you have to remember. And of course, the problem in this is Election Commission of India time and again changing their policies, and sometimes they will use their discretionary power and even they will conduct the elections. Okay. Now, registration of political parties. Of course, it is one of the chapter in the Lakshmikant book. What is meant by registered party? What is meant by recognized party? What is meant by state party? What is meant by national party? That all you can go through there. Of course, in our routine classes, we will discuss in a fair manner. Now, take the example of Telangana. You are having the Telangana Rashtra Samiti. It is a regional party, but it is a recognized party because it got the certain percentage of seats and votes, and the party has recognized as a regional party, that is state party, and they will have their own symbol, that is the car. In the same way, like YSRCP, in the same way, I think TMC, Trinamool Congress, you are having many such regional parties like DMK in Tamil Nadu, AIADMK in Tamil Nadu. They are the regional parties, whereas the national parties, you are having the BJP and you are having the Congress, etc. And what is the meaning of registration of political parties? Just anybody can go and they can get their party registered. That is called as registered party. There is lot of difference between the registered party and recognized party. A registered party will be recognized only after that party getting certain amount of votes and seats. Then they will have their own symbol. That symbol will not be allotted to other people. Now, you can see when take the example of Uttar Pradesh. All the BJP candidates had the symbol of flower, that is lotus. Because it is a national party, registered party, that symbol is allocated to BJP, lotus. Every candidate who is contesting from the side of BJP will have lotus as their symbol. The party will give the B form to that candidate. Then the election commission will allocate that symbol to the party. So what you call in the layman words, he got the party ticket, he got the party ticket. So he got the B form of the party and he will get that symbol. That is a registered, that is a recognized party. If you want to register a party, yes, you can register, but you will not have the facilities which are enjoyed by the recognized party. In course of time, if your registered party gets certain votes and seats, automatically your party will be registered. Okay, but nowadays even the registered parties are also given the common symbol. Long back, yes, when Aam Aadmi Party contested for the first time, as soon as they submitted for the registration, they will not be recognized. First they were registered and they were given the symbol Jadu, broom. Why? Their aim is to clean the politics, make India corrupt free. Okay? Yes. Okay. Now, qualifications for membership of the Lok Sabha, according to the Act, that is People's Representative Act of 1951, a person shall not be qualified to be chosen to fill a seat in the Lok Sabha unless he is a member of any scheduled caste of any state, he is an elector for any parliament constituency. In the case of seat reserved for the SCs in any state, of course, if any seat is reserved for the SCs, then that person should belong to that caste in that state. That is very important, because the list of SCs will differ from one state to other state. So suppose if you are contesting in Maharashtra for a SC seat, your caste should be SC in Maharashtra, not in other state. It may be SC in other state, but not in Maharashtra. Then you are not eligible to contest. That is very important. Then he is a member of same thing. SC and ST is the same thing. Okay. Now, and qualification for membership of the Rajya Sabha. A person shall not be qualified to be chosen as a representative of any state or union territory in the Rajya Sabha unless he is an elector for a parliamentary constituency. Here you have to remember, in Lok Sabha, you are having elected members, nominated members, and in Lok Sabha, you are having reservations for SC and ST. But now, the nominated members concept has been removed by a constitutional amendment. So now you have to remember, Lok Sabha MPs will have the constituencies. Last class I told you what is meant by a constituency. Like take the example of Hyderabad, Secunderabad. From Secunderabad, Kishan Reddy is MP. Okay. Like our Honorable Prime Minister Modi, he is the member of Parliament from which Lok Sabha constituency? Varanasi. So each Lok Sabha member will have the constituency. And of course, nominated Lok Sabha member will not have constituency. Now there is no provision of nomination of members to Lok Sabha. But when you come to the Rajya Sabha members are elected by the elected members of Legislative Assembly of that concerned state. Take the example of Telangana. Telangana MLAs will elect the Rajya Sabha members. So Rajya Sabha members will have the state but not the constituency. That too elected. Now take the example of Nirmala Sitharaman. She is Rajya Sabha member from the Karnataka. Though she is having the vote in Hyderabad, if I am not wrong, maybe in Kondapur or Madhapur, if I am not wrong. So the condition is only one condition, that is he or she should have her name registered in the electoral list of the Election Commission of India. Now I can become the Rajya Sabha member of Uttar Pradesh. Of course, I am not having that capacity. Even I cannot become a ward member also. Now everything is in the hands of money and. Okay? Yeah. So what you have to remember, Rajya Sabha members are not having the constituencies, they are having the states. That too elected Rajya Sabha members. Whereas you are having 12 nominated members to Rajya Sabha. Those persons will not have any state also. No question of states to these nominated members of Rajya Sabha. See, you are having a concept called as MP Lads Funds, Member of Parliament Local Area Development Scheme. Every member of Parliament will be given 5 crores of rupees every year, if I am not wrong. Then that 5 crores have to be spent by that MP in their constituency. Now Lok Sabha member is having his constituency. Now take the example of Kishan Reddy. He is from Secunderabad Lok Sabha constituency. He will spend that 5 crores in his constituency. No Rajya Sabha member. I mean, for example, now you are, you are having Madam Nirmala Sitharaman. She is from Karnataka. She is not having any constituency. So she can spend 5 crore rupees for the Karnataka, not to Telangana, though she is having voting right in Hyderabad. She has to spend 5 crores for Karnataka state. Okay. Then the nominated members can spend that 5 crores of rupees anywhere in the country. Anywhere in the country. Like earlier, Mr. Sachin Tendulkar chose a village in Andhra Pradesh, Kandriga, Puttamraju Kandriga, if I am not wrong. Okay? Yes. These points you have to remember. Now, so Rajya Sabha members will not have the constituencies. Only they will have state. That too, elected Rajya Sabha members. Whereas nominated, even they will not have states also. They can spend that 5 crores anywhere and it. These sort of questions will appear in your examination. Yes. Now, disqualification. A person can be disqualified on various grounds. Example, corrupt practices. Office of profit. Office of profit means if a person is having two salaries from the government. Of course, some posts are exempted from the office of profits, like the university professor is exempted from the office of profit. So, a university professor can become a MP and also he can teach in the university. So, he will get the two salaries. And of course, it is with regard to the office of profit. Person convicted of any offense and sentenced to imprisonment for not less than 2 years. Okay, then he is also disqualified. Now, election expenses, according to the section, you remember this section, according to the section 77 of the Representatives of People's Act 1951. Every candidate contesting an election to the House of the People or the Legislative Assembly of a state shall either by himself or by his election agent keep a separate and correct account of all expenditure in connection with the election incurred or authorized by him or by his election agent. So he has to give the perfect expenditure, and you know how perfect our people will give, because the amount prescribed is far less when compared to the actual money spent by our MLAs or MPs who are contesting. Okay. Now, corrupt practices. You have to remember this section. Section 123 defines the corrupt practices like bribery, undue influence. Undue influence means asking the people in the name of religion, saying that if our religion person will not get elected, then you cannot stay here. Okay? Yes. Section 123 defines the corrupt practices like bribery, undue influence, inciting religious sentiments, booth capturing, etc. You know what is meant by booth capturing? So, occupying that total booth and what is booth? Where election process is undertaken. Of course, nowadays you are having the EVMs. It is very difficult to capture the booth because there is time lag between two successive votes. Time lag between two successive votes. You cannot press continuously. Okay, and again you have to register the name of that person. So now it is difficult, but it is said that, but still that process is undertaken by the people in a more sophisticated manner. They are more pioneers than the election commission CC cameras. Okay, so nowadays you can see the robbers. First they will cut the CC cameras and they will enter the house. They know how the CC camera works. Even they know the repair of CC camera more than the CC camera engineers. That is what happening. Okay? Yes. Now, election disputes. The Representation of the People's Act 1966 abolished the election tribunal. Yes, earlier we had the election tribunal. Means anything which is undue or adverse, then the people used to go to the election tribunals. Now they were removed. Of course, now you can go to the High Court of the concerned state. If see, I am from Telangana. I mean that is Hyderabad. If I am contesting as an MP, I face some problem. I got defeated. Then I will go to the High Court of Telangana. Later, I will appeal If I will not get justice in High Court, I will prefer for an appeal in the Supreme Court, but not in the lower courts, not less than the rank of High Court. That you have to remember. Election disputes. The Representation of the People's Act 1966 abolished the election tribunals. It transferred the election petition to the High Courts, whose orders can be appealed to Supreme Court. However, election disputes regarding the election of President and Vice President are directly heard by the Supreme Court. That you have to remember. You cannot challenge that in the Delhi High Court. Okay? Yes. Apart from the above, RPA Act is pivotal in preventing criminals being elected as representatives. Is always quoted by Supreme Court and High Court in various judgments. Yes, if criminals enter into the lawmaking process, and the law will also be criminal. But nowadays, if you see any survey, every year you will get the surveys. Most of our parliamentarians are having the criminal background. Yes, international reports, etc., etc. They show that many of our representatives are having the criminal background because they want money. Even the parties will give the tickets to the persons who are having the money. So nowadays, the people who are involved in illegal business can earn crores of rupees. It does not mean that through legal business we cannot earn the money, but those people will give the party fund and they will get the tickets, and by using their money and muscle power, automatically they will win over the elections. Now the democracy has become more manipulation than the consensus. Today morning, one person may be interested to vote for one party. By afternoon, he or she changed his or her mind because of the populistic policies, which is of temporary nature. But still, we cannot do anything. Okay? Yes. Apart from the above, RPA Act is pivotal in preventing criminals being elected as representatives. Is always quoted by Supreme Court and High Court in various judgments. Section 8 deals with, yes, People's Representative Act of 1951. See, this year we may expect question from this act, and of course in the routine class also once again we will discuss. Okay. Section 8 deals with the disqualification of representatives on conviction for certain offences. The various subclauses include, okay, I'm sorry, this is not visible. 8 clause 1, section 8 clause 1, a person convicted of an offence punishable under certain acts of Indian Penal Code, that is Protection of Civil Rights Act 1955, Unlawful Act, Prevention Act, means Prevention of Corruption Act, like you are having SC/ST atrocity case. If any person is convicted, then he is debarred from contesting the election. And even Prevention of Corruption Act 1988 and Prevention of Terrorism Act 2002, etc. Like if he is involved in the terrorist activities, maybe indirectly, okay, yes, shall be disqualified where the person convicted person is sentenced to only fine for a period of 6 years from the date of such conviction. You remember, the person is involved in crime and he was found of guilty. It is only pecuniary punishment. Like if I will not wear the helmet and drive my bullet on the roads, now I will not be given 2 months or 3 months of imprisonment. Very hardly they can penalize me with rupees 135 according to Hyderabad Police Act. That is only fine. If it is also only fine for a period of 6 years from the date of such conviction, he will be debarred. Now, for that as soon as the Supreme Court or High Court gave the verdict, from that date, for a period of 6 years, he cannot contest the election. That is very important. Though it is only a pecuniary punishment, penalty in the form of money. Then, imprisonment from the date of such conviction and shall continue to be disqualified for a further period of 6 years since his release. Suppose if a person, now today it is I think March 12th, 2022. Today one person is convicted for a period of say 2 years. Okay, and his 2 years term will get completed in 2024. Okay, what this says, date imprisonment from the date of such conviction and shall continue to be disqualified for a further period of 6 years since his release. So these 2 years automatically he is disqualified, and even after his release also he cannot contest in the election for a period of 6 years. Whereas in the case of pecuniary punishment, from that day to 6 years. Please go through the Lakshmikant book. This year you may expect few questions from this topic, UPSC prelims and also state services, because 5 states were having the elections, and even in the coming year you are having the election for the Lok Sabha. Okay, yes. Now this is section 8 clause 1. Then section 8 clause 2. A person convicted for the contravention of any law providing for the prevention of hoarding or profiteering. Hoarding or profiteering. What is the meaning of hoarding? I am from a business background, and as soon as I completed my BTech in 94, at the age of maybe 21, I established my own industry. That is dal factory. We were permitted to hoard the stock to the tune of 3,000 quintal. We were permitted, no issue. But in spite of that, many people used to hoard the stock beyond 3,000 quintals in the private warehouses. That is violation of law. You know, Essential Commodities Act. Essential Commodities Act clearly specifies, if you want to stock, say, rice or some commodities like edible oils, there is a limit. See, now you are having the Russia-Ukraine crisis. You can see the prices of edible oil increased by 20 or 30%. Now, what the traders will do, they will not release that oil into the market. That is called as hoarding and profiteering. Now, take the case of steel. Just 1 month or 45 days ago, it was 53 rupees. Now it is 83 rupees. What the steel merchants will do, they will not sell in the open market, because if they hoard for 4 or 5 days, the percentage increase will be more than 10%. They will make the easy money. And last week, the price of nickel has shot up by 40% in 24 hours and fell by 30% in 24 hours. So stock hoarding is a crime. Why? It is the essential commodity. Even kerosene, essential commodity. Petrol, diesel, essential commodity. If you are convicted of this offense, then you will be disqualified. Or any law relating to the adulteration of food or drugs. You know what is meant by adulteration? Nowadays, adulteration has become common. Only it is uncommon if it is not involved any adulteration. The milk which we are drinking early morning, very hardly we can call it as milk. Very hardly. And many doctors say that the main problems with regard to ill health of the kids is because of drinking that milk. It is highly toxic milk. But we are helpless. The number of cattle is reducing. The population utilizing milk is increasing. And again, because of increase in our salaries, increase in standard of living, the consumption of sweets has increased. And in sweets, the milk is widely used. If you use 1 liter of good milk, you will get 240 grams of kova. And 240 grams of kova, even a person can consume very easily. Okay? That is the meaning of the adulteration of food or drugs. Even adulterated drugs, they may sometimes take the lives of people. Okay? Yes. Any provisions of the Dowry Prohibition Act 1961, if you are convicted of the dowry harassment case, then also you will be disqualified. Okay? Now, a person convicted of any offense and sentenced to imprisonment for not less than 2 years, other than any offense referred to in the subsection 1 or subsection 2, Paina, Upper, shall be disqualified for the date of such conviction and shall continue to be disqualified for a further period of 6 years since his release. Suppose if your imprisonment is 6 years for understanding purpose, that 6 years you will be disqualified. Now, no question of accepting the nomination of person who is in jail. So this 6 years he will be already in jail, and even further after the completion of his term, for the coming 6 years also he will be disqualified. But nothing will happen because his wife or his brother or his friend will contest and he will play the background music. Now take the example of local self-governing bodies. Constitution has mandated 33% of seats should be reserved for the women candidates. No doubt they are having skill, proficiency, everything to do. You can see time and again in the newspapers saying that their husbands are using that power instead of the real person. But not in all cases. Yes, women are pioneers. There is no doubt in it in India. Like take the example of Meera Kumar and Sumitra Mahajan, who worked as the Lok Sabha speakers, and Madam Indira Gandhi, who ruled the country for a long period and settled the issue of East Pakistan. Many people, and even Honorable Finance Minister of India, Madam Nirmala Sitharaman, and this year's budget is totally realistic budget, no manipulations. Okay? Yes. A fourth subsection, that is 8 clause 4, was struck down by the Supreme Court in 2013 in the Lily Thomas case. Actually, Lily Thomas is the advocate. Lily Thomas case. This subsection had provisions for convicted lawmakers to retain their seats if they filed an appeal within 3 months of their conviction. Don't get confused by reading this sentence. See, you are having the hierarchy of courts in India. Indian judiciary is integrated and also independent. You know, what is the meaning of integrated judiciary? See, from Supreme Court to lower court, all are integrated. Supreme Court, High Court, okay? And again, you are having the district courts and subdivisional courts. Again, you are having the municipal magistrate courts. And in some states, below that, you are having the Nyaya Panchayat. See, now, take the example of dowry harassment case or something like that one. That case is not dealt in the High Court or Supreme Court. Suppose if a MLA is involved in a crime, that case will not directly go to the High Court. Only with regard to election offences, then only the case is tried in High Court. Suppose if there is an MLA in the family, sorry. Okay, if there is an MLA in the family, okay, then he is accused of the dowry harassment. That case, as he is MLA, will not be tried in the High Court. That you have to remember. It will be tried in the lower court only, and lower court is having the right to punish that person. Even the district court in India, the district court in India is the lowest court which can give you the capital punishment. Only the thing is, it should get the approval from the High Court. That's all. So what happens? An MLA will be convicted in the lower court, and that conviction period is more than 2 years. Then what he will say? He will prefer for a appeal. Maybe he will have 30 days, 60 days based on the conditions only. So Supreme Court said that even though he will prefer for appeal, he will be disqualified in the famous Lily Thomas case. You search in the Google and you will get the more details. But Lily Thomas is an advocate, not the accused or victim. So in the pretext of I will prefer for appeal, you cannot retain the seat. Are you able to follow? Okay. Be active, then you will be able to follow on. If you sleep, automatically. Yes. Now, in 2013, the Patna High Court also debarred persons in judicial or police custody from contesting elections. Yes, nowadays, earlier what happened? Before that, yes, they will be in jail, and from jail they used to file the nomination, or some person on their behalf used to file the nomination, and they used to win the elections also. There are instances. Of course, I don't want to name them. Yes, there are many instances. The people who were in the jail, but still they got elected. Huh? See, don't take the example of Subhash Chandra Bose. Subhash Chandra Bose, election is in the colonial era. And Subhash Chandra Bose is not a criminal. He is one of the great personalities of our country. Okay? Yes. Okay. Now, so now if you are in the police custody, now you cannot contest the election. Of course, these laws are not sufficient. More stringent action should be taken by the parliament. They should go for an amendment such that even a common man should be able to enter into the house. Money is not the criteria for to have the knowledge. Understand? Take the example of K.R. Narayanan. He is from a poor background, abnormal brilliant. And even our constant father, Ambedkar, he is also from a humble background. And you see our constant, even after 75 years, it is working well. There is no doubt in it. We are infecting the sanctity of the constitution by not following it. Okay? Yes. This is about some provisions of the People's Representative Act. Then the next topic in line, which is related to this topic, is the electoral bonds. Of course, time and again, this kind of things will appear in the newspapers. See, actually, earlier, the parties used to get the funds from the people, etc., etc. And in course of time, the parliament has made the provision of electoral bond. How they function? State Bank of India is authorized to sell the electoral bonds. State Bank of India. They will simply sell the bonds. Suppose now, like you are having the Indra Vikasa Patra. Indra Vikas Patra, Kisan Vikasa Patra, many bonds are negotiable. Many bonds are negotiable. What is the meaning of negotiable? Means you can sell that bond at any time to any person. That is the meaning of negotiable. Now these electoral bonds, they will have a validity for 15 days. Today, if I purchase electoral bonds from the State Bank of India, today is March 12th, they are valid up to 15 days. 12 plus 15, that is up to 27th March. What I will do? I will purchase the bond from the State Bank of India and I will give to the party which I like. I can purchase n number of bonds. And what the party will do? Party will submit that bond in any bank and they will encash. So it is nothing but the legalization of party funding. And they will say that no, it will keep the anonymity of the giver. It may be true, but if government thinks, then they can take the data from the State Bank of India, who is the purchaser. Understand? So it is how you can give the party funds and in the time of Bengal elections, it is said that 640 crores of electoral bonds have changed the hands. Okay, so you should have a brief idea about the electoral bonds. Electoral bonds worth 695 crores sold during the recent assembly elections in West Bengal. Of course, not recent, 1.5 years, 2 years ago. The amount sold was the highest ever for any assembly election since the scheme started in 2018. You have to remember when this scheme has started, electoral bond. Now, electoral bond scheme features introduced with the Finance Bill 2017. The electoral bond scheme was notified on January 29, 2018. You have to remember such kind of dates. An electoral bond is like a promissory note. Just now I told you, it is a negotiable. You will purchase the bond from the SBI. SBI is the authority to give the bond, and you can give to anybody, and even you can sell the bond to anybody. It will not give any interest. Only the amount which is mentioned on that bond that will be credited into the party's account. An electoral bond is like a promissory note. that may be purchased by a person who is a citizen of India or incorporated or established in India. Means that is corporation. And a person being an individual can buy electoral bonds either singly or jointly with other individuals. Singly or jointly, 2 members, 2 or 3 members, 1 or 2 members, you can purchase it jointly. The bonds are like banknotes that are payable to the bearer on demand and are interest free. What is the meaning of bearer? Now, I am having that 200 rupees note and I am the bearer of that note. If I go to RBI Governor Shaktikanta, sir, I did not like this 200 rupees note. It is not good. Please change me. He may change the denomination. You bearer check is the common term used in our banking transactions. What is the meaning of bearer check? You will not cross the check. If I want to give, say, 100 rupees to somebody, I will just write the name of that person. And he will go to the bank and just encash that by showing his or her identity, like PAN card or Aadhaar card. On the back side of check, they will write the PAN number and they will see the photo whether the same person has came to the bank or not. That is the meaning of bearer. So what is the meaning of electoral bond here? Any person, if he is suppose if one person has purchased the electoral bond and he has thrown that in the bus or he has lost that bond in the bus, somebody will take that bond. Now that person will get that money, but not money. He has to give only to the party. He will give. He cannot encash that bond. You have to remember very important thing. He will give that bond to the party which he likes. Then the party can encash the electoral bond that within 15 days of the date and 15 days. So actually, one use is white money is flowing, and even Supreme Court said that all political parties should show their accounts, and you know what they will show? They will show only the legitimate expenditure. And you know, at the time of elections, the money flow among the voters may be more than the waters flowing in the river by their villagers. Nowadays, hundreds of crores are spent for the election. Okay? Yes. Now, the bonds are like banknotes that are payable to the bearer on demand and are interest free. Only the political parties registered under Section 29A of the Representation of the People's Act 1951 and which secured not less than 1% of the votes polled in the last general election to the House of the People or the Legislative Assembly of the state shall be eligible to receive the electoral bond. Okay? Very, very important. Registered political parties. Okay? Only the political parties registered under Section 29 of the Representative Act and they have to get the 1% of votes. Suppose if it is a regional party, say for example Telangana, that party should get not less than 1% of the polled votes throughout Telangana. Then only they can use this provision. If everybody allowed means, you know what happens? All parties will convert black money into white money by using this electoral bonds. This point is also very important. Registered parties and who will get the vote share not less than 1%. Okay? Yes. Procedure. The State Bank of India has been authorized to issue and encash electoral bonds through its 29 authorized branches. The bonds are sold by the SBI in denominations rupees 1000, even you can donate rupees 1000 also, 10,000, rupee 1 lakh, rupee 10 lakh, and rupee 1 crore. Maybe corporates will purchase this 1 crore and who knows? For a person contesting as MP or MLA, 1 crore is nothing. Okay? One can purchase these bonds only digitally or through checks. You cannot pay cash in the bank and purchase. See, now, just now I told you, say, Many people will say that yes, these electoral bonds will maintain the anonymity. How? And here you are having the through checks. If you call SBI person, if any higher officials call SBI person, they will reveal everything. And digitally, you will have transaction number, everything. Okay. So that is the greatness of many laws in India. Okay. Yes. The electoral bonds can be encashed by an eligible political party only through a bank account with the authorized bank. Of course, they can encash in any bank, though the selling is made by the State Bank of India. Okay. The electoral bond deposited by an eligible political party in its account is credited on the same day. On the same day. Yes, 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 Pranati. That is conversion of illegal money into legal money. I will tell you even example also. Suppose, just for your understanding purpose, I am not having any black money and very hardly I am surviving. Okay, okay. See, I am having say 5 crores of black money. I am planning to take a ticket from a political party, say X. Now, political party will say, yes, we will give you a ticket. You have to transfer 5 crores to the party fund. Then what I will do, I am having n number of students. I will ask them to purchase the electoral bonds. All of my students will go to the SBI. They will purchase 1,000, 1,000, 1,000 bonds, 1,000, 2,000, their friends 2,000, 10,000. And finally, I will give these 5 crores of valuable electoral bonds to the party which has assured me of the ticket if I pay them 5 crores of rupees. Now what is happening? My black money is converting into the legal money. I will get the ticket. Because I am having a lot of friends and students, you know. This is one way. Yes. Now, on the same day, as soon as you deposit, automatically you will get the money. And now, electoral bonds shall be valid for 15 calendar days from the date of issue, and no payment is being made to any payee political party. The electoral bond is deposited after the expiry of the validity period. This is also very important because in the UPSC prelims, the questions will be in the statement forms. After 15 days, it is like mere dustbin paper. That is very important. But who will lose that? As soon as the person will give that electoral bond, they will rush to the bank hand. Okay? Yes. Now, benefits of electoral bonds. Of course, there will be pros and also cons. Okay? Benefits of electoral bonds. More transparency. It helps the political parties to operate in more transparent manner. Means they will show more and more, expenditure. We have discussed in the last current affairs session. There is no cap on the political party's expenditure. There is only cap on the individual person. We have discussed very clearly. The people who are new to this class, they can watch the last week Saturday's video only. It helps the political parties to operate in a more transparent manner with the election commission, regulatory authorities, and the general public at large. Okay, to some extent transparent, to some extent. And this amount is used by the political parties to hire the choppers because they have to pay in cash. They have to pay through online or check. These choppers will not run in with the black money because they are big aviation companies. You know, chopper, they will hire the choppers for election campaigning. So last class also I told you, if you want to minimize the poverty in India, the only way is the term of Lok Sabha and MLA should be reduced to 2.5 years. Okay, at least public money will circulate. Of course, I told you even the CEO of HUL said that as this is election year, we are expecting more business because the people will have more money in their hands. They will purchase more fair and lovely. Yes, the same word was used by him. He told that the 25 we got 25% more revenues from the sale of Fair and Lovely. Okay, okay. Now, ensures accountability. Donations to electoral bonds will only be credited in the party bank account disclosed with the Election Commission of India. As encashment of all the donations are through banking channels, every political party shall be obliged to explain how the entire sum of money received has been spent. Now they will show the expenditure because they are having more income side through the electoral bond. I think if I am not wrong, the BJP has attracted more party funds in maybe in the last year or I mean before last year. I could not remember the date. That article appeared in the newspaper because now it is ruling party in India. Now it is their second term, and you know yesterday they have swept the UP, and definitely it seems that in the coming election also. Or see now what happens psychologically, people will shift to BJP, thinking that yeah these small parties cannot rule India. Of course, anything may happen in the politics. Anything may happen in the politics. Even a independent candidate in Jharkhand became the chief minister of Jharkhand. Independent means only he himself will be the member. Madhu Koda, he became the chief minister of Jharkhand. There are many instances. Even a party having less than 10 seats in Lok Sabha, they have become the prime minister of India. Okay? Yes. Now, discouraging cash. The purchase will be possible only through a limited number of notified banks, and that too through check and digital payments. Cash will not be encouraged. Of course, nowadays in future everything will be digital. RBI itself wanted to encourage the digital currency, and nobody will carry the physical notes, and even myself will also carry not even 200 rupees also. Maintains anonymity, but it is wrong. Just now I told you, because you are purchasing the electoral bond through digitally or through check, and if government wanted to know that who has given you the check, SBI, after all it is a PSU bank, they will oblige the order of government. They will get the person who has purchased that electoral bond. Maintains anonymity. The individual groups of individuals, NGOs, religious and other trusts are permitted to donate via electoral bonds without disclosing their details. Therefore, the identity of the donor is being preserved, but this is not correct. Why? If Election Commission of India asks the SBI, they will reveal, and even Parliament can ask them because Parliament is having quasi-judicial powers. They can ask. Okay. Now, challenges for electoral bonds. Challenges for electoral bonds. Hindering right to know. Immediately you don't know, but in course of time, if they want, they can know. Voters will not know which individual, company or organization has funded which party and to what extent. Of course, who are bothered about that funding? Any people are bothered about that funding? Nobody is bothered. Andy. Earlier, when I was a kid, or at least when I was in high school, people used to ask the community problems like we want well, we want borewell, we want a school building, we want a hospital. Now it seems that they are asking only personal perks. Now I am 58 years. Now, of course, I'm myself is only 49 years, but they will ask, I am 58 years, I am not getting pension. And don't know, in future maybe these populistic policy makers may give pension for even 40 years old also, because to load the voters. Now even people also wanted money without any hard work. Everybody wanted easy money. And yes, my dears. And to what extent? Before the introduction of electoral bonds, political parties had to disclose details of all its donors who have donated more than 20,000. The change infringes the citizens' right to know and makes the political class even more unaccountable. But this is not a great challenge. No person is interested. No common man is interested nowadays. They are interested only in the manifesto of the party. Okay, everybody know now corruption in India is an accepted thing. There are many MPs and MLAs, even chief ministers, who are facing charges of corruption, even though they have proved, after some period again they will sit on the same gaddi. Yes, it is a fact. There is no doubt in it. Shallow anonymity. Yes, it is correct, because SBI, if ECI asks, they will tell the person's name. Anonymity does not apply to the government of the day, which can always access the donor details by demanding the data from the State Bank of India. This implies that the only people in the dark about the source of these donations are the taxpayers. So, unauthorized donation. Yes, just now I told my example. I am having 5 crores. I will donate by giving 1,000 rupees to my students, and they will purchase electoral bonds, and we will submit to the party which has promised me and assured me of the assembly ticket in the coming elections for the Telangana. Of course, I am not having that capacity. If I want to contest, I have to sell all my properties. I will not do that. I am not a fool. Unauthorized donations. In a situation where the contribution received to electoral bonds are not reported on perusal of the contribution report of political parties, it cannot be ascertained whether the political party has taken any donation in violation of provisions under Article 29B of the RPA 1951, which prohibits the political parties from taking donations from government companies and foreign sources. So foreign sources are debarred, government companies are debarred. The meaning of this sentence. Leading to crony capitalism. What is meant by crony capitalism? Suppose I am a big industrialist. Now, within 5 minutes, I change from political party to an industrialist. I want to see that the coming government will support my business policies. Automatically, I will give lot of party funding. That is nothing but crony capitalism. What is crony capitalism? Laws are made to favor the capitalists. That is a common thing nowadays. Even the countries like America are favoring the capitalists. Leading to crony capitalism. It could become a convenient channel for businesses to round trip their cash parked in tax havens to political parties for a favor or advantage granted in return for something. Anonymous funding might lead to infusion of black money. Just now I told you how I can infuse my 5 crores of black money. I am having 5 crores. I will distribute among the children. I am an industrialist. I am having lot of black money in the tax havens like Singapore, Mauritius, etc. And you know, they can enter into India. I will establish a shell company, okay, and I will get that. I will get that money in some or other way, and I will donate to this party. And that party, after coming to the power, they will favor my policies. That is the meaning of crony capitalism. And loopholes. Corporate entities may not enjoy the benefit of transparency as they might have to disclose the amount donated to the Register of Companies Electoral S. Corporates should give their statement of account to Register of Companies. Then they have to say that, yes, we have purchased this electoral bond. So they may face trouble. But it is clear which industrialist is supporting which party. Which contractor is supporting to which part? Nobody is getting paid of this kind of thing. 7.5% cap on electoral bonds eliminate the 7.5% cap on company donations, which means even loss-making companies can make unlimited donations. So there is no cap on the company's donations because you are having the CSR, corporate social responsibility. They can donate anything, and even the company is loss-making to attract the political party to have some sort of benefits. Once that party comes into power, they may donate. Then Supreme Court stands on electoral bonds. The Supreme Court agreed that the scheme protects the identity of purchasers of the electoral bonds in a cloak of anonymity, but highlighted that such purchases happened only through regular banking channels. In 2019, the Supreme Court asked all the political parties to submit details of donations received to electoral bonds to the ECI. It also asked the Finance Ministry to reduce the window of purchasing electoral bonds from 10 days to 5 days. Of course, that what happens if that period is reduced from 10 days to 5 days? They will purchase now and give it the next day. That will not cause any problem for them. Sometimes Supreme Court will also give such kind of judgment. Instantaneously, they will give. They will purchase now, go to Delhi and give. Okay. The Election Commission of India also told the Supreme Court of India that while it was not against the Electoral Bond scheme, it did not approve of anonymous donations made to political parties. Yes, it is anonymous. Yes, there is no doubt illegal money is getting converted into a legal channel. But we are helpless. To some extent, it is well and good. At least their parties are showing the expenditure. And the money spent in the elections nowadays is multifold than the prescribed ceiling limit. So, elections means money, money means elections. That's all. Okay. Let's hope for good and meet for next class at 9:45. Thank you. God bless you.